G'day, welcome, Mailbag Preview Show, episode maybe 314 or 15. It's a big edition, it's Everest Preview, and it's Caulfield Cup. It's a phenomenal weekend's racing. There's no footy. There's a lot of footy on the agenda, but there's no footy. The V8s are done. I don't know what else is going on. There's a bit of golf in India, which we're going to get to later. But it's all about the ponies, and we've got phenomenal meetings at Royal Randwick and at the Heath Caulfield to rip into. This week's edition, as every other one is, brought to you by puntingform.com.au. It's a database I've always used, and you should try it if you haven't. On this week's show, very special guests. We've got a UFC champion. We've got the most powerful small forward in the AFL, and we've got one of the biggest players in the Victorian racing industry who's just been abroad doing a bit of research on how the Indians go about it. PharJack Jenkins, T. Paps, and David Butch Bourne. Boys, Butch, welcome. How are you, big fella?
Yeah, good. Yep. Yeah, and I've been home since Monday, and I've been mixing a spoon of grey box in me cup of tea, and I've got things thickened up nicely.
Far, how are you, mate? You're like a couple of weeks off a dominant performance there in Perth. How's the body? How's the mind? What's next?
Yeah, mind is really good. Body still a few bumps and bruises to let settle down. You always feel pretty good like a week later. Then you go back to training and somebody touches you and you go, oh, fuck, that's a bit sore or that's a bit sore. So it'll take me a couple more weeks until we've still got a fair bit of swelling in my leg because I just kicked the fuck out of his arm non-stop, which was the plan, but you got to expect that you're going to come back with some swelling. But yeah, so now I get to enjoy racing for probably the next 3 weeks, and then I'll lock back in start of November.
Speaking of locking back in, this man's more motivated than he was yesterday, this morning, I'd say. But I'd say the opposite of locked in. When are you intending to lock back in, Thomas?
I'm always locked in, mate. Always 24/7 footballer. It was an interesting day yesterday. Obviously lost a couple of good mates to Carlton, but obviously get one of probably the best forward in the comp to run around with next year. So it's a bit of a bittersweet feeling, but obviously sad to see the boys go, but happy to see big Charlie Curnow in the red and white next year. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, very much so. All right, let's go to Royal Randwick. What's the weather doing? What do you think the track will do, perhaps, as we've got, it's a fat card. There's thickness all throughout it. We're going to focus heavily on the King Charles, the Everest, and throw in another race that perhaps loves. But what's the weather doing, and what will this track do most likely?
Boys, we wouldn't believe it. Friday, tomorrow, 5 to 10 mil, 80% chance, which is, I think David Hayes is thinking, fuck me, what the fuck? But yeah, it was 5 mil, I think, a few days ago, and then I just checked my app, the weather zone, and it's fucking pretty good, the weather zone. And they reckon 80% chance, 5 to 10 mil, thunderstorms late arvo tomorrow. So be interesting to see how it comes up. I assume they would have probably expected some rain, so it'd be interesting to see if they put any on it this week. But yeah, I think we'll play fair depending on how much rain comes. But a 3 metre rail usually pretty fair, but then coming off in the straight. But yeah, very interesting couple of days with the weather around.
What's your thoughts there on weather zone? I know you'd be a massive operator in the sort of predicting the weather space. What are you tipping there?
Well, as you know, Jack, that all the weather comes from the Indian Ocean, and so I went over there to have a quick swat just to make sure that my weather patterns were in line with Australia. And what I can tell you, that on Friday there could be 5 to 10 mils.
So I think this weather zone must be right then, is it?
I had to go to India to get that, Pat. So yeah. No, I think well, we've only got you're talking about the King George?
King Charles.
Yeah, that's him. King George was when I was a kid. I think he's been dead that long. I think this bloke, what's his name, Haggis, he seems to be a pretty good up-and-comer, and I would say anything that he brings out is very hard to beat. So I'd say Lake Forest, Zach Purton, Barrier 2, any sort of track conditions wouldn't matter, would it?
No, we'll head there now, perhaps. We'll just flip
We'll
the script and we'll go to
yeah.
the King Charles because the great man's taken us there.
Is that where we're starting or not?
We'll start at the Everest, but
You
sort
did
of team
team
that
up
up
to
with
it.
us PVL. We
Dicko.
head straight to the King Charles III, the stage.
The Everest is easy.
1,600 metre. Yeah, hang on, we'll get there. We'll get there. Stay calm. It's a $5 million weight for age Group 1 over the mile, perhaps. Royal Randwick, famous mile. This speed map is crucial to the contest. How this track's racing is crucial to this contest. The toughest, most consistent horse in Australia, Mr Brightside's drawn awful. What's he going to do?
It is very interesting. Pride of Jenni, you don't know what she's going to do. It's a bit of a guess, really, isn't it? She's obviously going to go forward in a hot speed. Royal Patronage will trail her. And Mr Brightside, sort of El Costello, Pericles gets the absolute PR, just in behind the speed, has handled the hot speed before. But yeah, Brightside's going to, I assume, have to roll across and sort of slot in that little gap that Pride of Jenni puts on the field. But yeah, Ceolwulf in behind him might get a nice little suck run as well with the hot speed. But good little race. I sort of, wound out Pride of Jenni just because you just don't really know. Sort of guessing. Patronage, I thought, was a good chance. Last start was wide early and sort of got across and faded late. Second up, I reckon, can get a nice run off the back of Pride of Jenni, probably a length or two off Pride of Jenni and be a chance around the $23. And also Pericles gets a PR again. Bourne's got this horse going since he's got the horse and is going really well, so I thought that was a nice little play as well. But they're the two I'm sort of aiming at. Fangirl I'm against. I think gets too far back, doesn't like the hot speed. Little tick over in between, but yeah, it was very, very good last start, and I'd be surprised if she starts 360.
Far, what's your read on Pride of Jenni, mate? Do you trust her, or are you just excited to see her? She really, decides and dictates the shape of a race, eh?
Yeah, I'm taking on trust. I'm happy to be with Pride of Jenni in a very, very big way, and I think that based on how we know that she's only got one way to run, so you take a little bit of guesswork out of that, and I think you can save yourself and even out and pen a couple of others. Happy to be against Ceolwulf, happy to be against Fangirl as well. So my play will be to back Pride of Jenni and hope that she's at her best, which I think she can get to. She's done nothing this prep to indicate that she's not going to go to another level, and she's obviously set for this race. So then I work backwards from that and go back Pride of Jenni, and then to be on the same line as the other boys, I'll save on Lake Forest if this European horses can run well off the hot tempo, and save on Pericles. And I'm happy to sit back and watch that and hope Pride of Jenni gaps him and can hold on to the end. And if she doesn't, I think the horses that relish the tempo, Pericles and Lake Forest, will run over the top, and I'll be happy to watch one of them run past.
What's your read, Pride of Jenni, Butch? She's been up, she's been down, she's back up. She was pretty good without being enormous, knocking off Treasure at the moment. Attrition went to the Rich race, that silly race last week or the week before, and went pretty good in Sydney. Treasure at the moment went up against Globe in a moderately but genuinely enough run race and failed. The form's sort of 50-50 for me, David.
Yeah, so the last two preparations, she's come off some trials first up at the mile and been humming along. And so it's sort of a different profile than what they've had in the past. So if the same pattern follows, she might be ready for a little dip at the moment. So I'm just going back through her form at the moment, and she's sort of built on what she's done early and got better in the prep, whereas last time round she won at Caulfield and just had that little dip at Flemington, and then 5 weeks later came out and won again in a smaller race at Caulfield, which was only against She Light and Pounding, and then she failed up in Doom. And so I'm just going off that win the other day at the Valley. It's pretty bloody hard effort over the mile. And I'd just be a little bit, I'd be cautious, that's all.
I think that having her in the race, though, it really ruins the race for the Fangirls and anything like the Ceolwulfs if they want to ride them how they want to, like they would ride them.
Even Brightside to an extent.
I think her in the race might actually help him. So he has to now go forward because you need to be in that sort of sweet spot kill zone to catch her if she's going good. But because she stretches him out, he's a much better chance of getting forward and getting in versus a traditional race. He's got to sort of go right the way forward and lead it to get across and get in and get some like cover, or at least not be covering that 3 wide line. I think she might help him in a way, even though she's half cursed him throughout his career. I think that the shape of the race means that those sort of horses worse than Midfield are going to be struggling, and if they do get there, it's going to be very late. So I really like the way Paps is handling his pricing and attacking the sort of horses that are going to settle up in the slot. I think Zach Purton on the import and Butcher's Wrap on the importer, which is that horse called
Lake Forest.
Lake Forest.
It's scary. From 2, you look at it, it's like it looks like it can handle it and sit wherever it needs to. It looks like it's a sharp enough horse for an import. And with Zach on it, race 9, he's going to know where he needs to be. And I think it's a player for sure. But, I think the race and any race that she's in is very, very hard to bet into with any confidence. The one horse I did want to get a read on, no one spoke about it yet, it's Bjorn's horse, Within the Law. 48 kilos, Paps. Low, sucky draw.
Yeah, they obviously can get 48, with the True Mile, they're saying, is it, Dicko? Back in your day, Butch, was that the 1609 or something?
Yeah, the True Mile, that's it, perhaps.
Because it's a True Mile, they can add they can be less weight or something. I don't know what I was reading, but do you know the story on this?
Well, it's only weight for age or handicap conditions. What does this come under? That just a handicap, is it?
No,
it's weight for age, but because it's 1609, it's like the Cox Plate 2040.
Yeah. So okay. So it's a 3-year-old filly. What did the What do you blokes think of a Papolyptic?
Huge. Should be undefeated. Should be getting talked about like Autumn Glow.
So if she was in this race, how would you rate her?
Toppy.
So Dicko's not far
she's
out.
She's not beaten much though.
Yeah, that's what they said about Autumn Glow before the Epsom as well.
So far, if you're pounding the other horse, where this horse settles within the law, you're pounding Pride of Jenni, so you're getting heavily involved in this race. I think you have to be with this horse because it starts $6 versus the horse that you think would be like very hard to beat in this race.
Yeah, well, that makes me go back and think about it too. I just think, from my profile of Within the Law, I probably didn't have quite as close a look at the speed map for her. But if she can jump and sit like she sat in that last race, fourth or fifth, she'll be right in it at the finish because she's got a really good, dash at the end. But if she slips out the back of the gates and tries to come home around and go wide around all of them at the end, I don't think she's going to be able to get there no matter what weight she carries. So it just comes down to how she maps. And if she maps well up the front, I might have to have her in.
I think that having her in this race just adds more juice to it. It's a phenomenal race. Full credit to you, Peter. What a race. And then we go to this one now, which is an even better race. It is the best sprint race we have. It's the Everest. It's race 7. It's a Group 1 now. It's at weight for age. And we've got a real spread of the weights. We've got one in there at 51 kilos in Tempted. And it's got the best horse, the best sprinter in the whole entire world. Car Ying Rising. There's the speed map. And after that, you'll see Pap's prices. Do you want to take this one away, Tommy? What are you thinking? What are you thinking map-wise? It's less complicated than the King Charles, but it's still a bit going on.
Yeah, bit going on. Overpass and Mazu. Car Ying be interesting. I reckon Car Ying's bloody fast out of the gates. If you watch a few, even the barrier trial, pinged the lids and sort of just restrained. Even watching some replays in Hong Kong, just pings the lids and goes. So I reckon Car Ying either just assesses, Overpass just goes handbars down, so does Mazu, but be interesting to see how they come out. I think Zach will just do whatever he thinks best. My gut feel is he'll just sit off the pace of him. War Machine will get the beautiful run in behind him. I think that's the map horse. Briasa, sticky little draw. I think might be 3 wide there with some luck. Potentially Overpass gets held wide by Car Ying and sort of can, if Zach was to push on, and then Briasa might get some cover 3 wide cover. But my gut feel is that Briasa will be 3 wide, no cover. Lady Shenandoah will get the back of Briasa around that market, and Jolly Star in behind War Machine and Tempted along the fence, and then the rest out the back. But yeah, it's a good little race. I don't know, I was happy to sort of wind out Car Ying Rising a bit just so I could have a bit of fun and have a bet. I thought the ones that I could probably play is War Machine just because of the map. Every run, Hayes has just improved the horse, just gets a great suck run in behind Car Ying, just off the pace a bit where usually the winners come from. Jolly Star's the other one I want to have. J-Mac jumps off Lady Shenandoah to ride Jolly Star. That form's good in from first up. Briasa come out and won, and Donkey licked it. So, yeah, I think Jolly Star on top with War Machine. And yeah, if Lady Shenandoah drifts out a bit more, I could probably have her on my side as well. But good race. I'm happy to not bet with $1.70 Car Ying Rising. If Car Ying Rising drifts, I could save around $2.50. But yeah, good race and can't wait to watch it.
Butch, what's your rate, Angel Capital? Enormous, should have won the Sir Ripper Clark, 1400 metres, brutal tempo, savaged the line, like had a heap of pony. Looked to me like a horse that's going to go to a Cox Plate and be very hard to beat. Now it's here in a sprint race. Maps back and buried. What's your read on it? What's Chris doing, Uncle Chris?
What he's told. They obviously want to run in the race. You know, he's a very talented horse, you know, like untapped. And, you know, I think the discussion is probably, well, you know, why, but why not? You know, so it's very hard to argue why not. And the only thing he's got to do is just train him to run the, you know, hopefully, you know, you guys are saying it's not going to be brutal, but it would be handy if it was a brutal tempo for that horse. So ability, yeah, no problems with his ability. But from barrier 3, if it's not going to be overly fast, it's going to get a bit tricky for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Ben Mellum's going to have to tag either Willow. Willow will be stronger than everyone thinks, I reckon, on Tempted, provided it begins well. No way.
Yeah.
He'll want to land leaders back. He'll be third pair at worst. I think Mellum's just got to cop that and follow him, and he's got that back to follow with luck, but he's waiting for War Machine, Jolly Star to make a move and flinch and just go with him, and if he's good enough, which he will be late, if he can sustain the cruising speed that these other sprinters can sustain.
Yeah, I think if you're looking visually, you can't go past Jimmy Star. Like he's looked like he was huge the other day, and it was just a run where you're like, I want to be on him next start, you know. And you probably thought out of that modest sprint race, what was Private Harry and was it Marzu? A couple of others. You might have thought that the smaller field, you know, and a brutal tempo, but once again, it's, you know, he's going to be back, isn't he? So
Yeah.
he's going to need the pace on. But the only thing I say, Car Ying Rising, like, what's he beaten?
Yeah, not much.
Yeah. Travel.
I thought Jimmy Star perhaps would get, if the race shape is what he needs, he will get the toe from either Briasa or Magic Time.
Yeah. The other thing with Jimmy Star last start, smaller field suits him, so he doesn't have to make up so much ground. Here he's going to have to make up more ground. That was my little thing with Jimmy, but he's definitely a chance for sure. If he can get a good little toe, like you said, Dicko, 3 wide cover, and he rips around, he's a good chance. But I just reckon he might be just that little bit too far back, far back, and he'll be humming home late, but not quick enough.
That's how tactical this is, though. So if Zach Purton goes, yeah, I'll let Overpass and Marzu go, I'll get the toe in behind them. But then Briasa, or like if fucking randomly Mickey D shows some intent in a big race and rolls forward on Magic Time, and all of a sudden he's 3 wide, no cover, but then Zach's boxed in. And then that sort of 200 metres of not being able to force out and waiting a little bit allows the run-on horses to get that little bit closer. Zach's decision early on what he does, and if he like cuddles or if he just rides him like the best horse, is crucial to the shape of the race. If he doesn't seek cover, I think the Jimmy Stars and Angel Capitals are cars. If he does, then it's wide open.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Everest, boys, before we wrap it up?
Look, I'm like, if the way I can only see this race is if you want to find a knock on the favourite and then find something else. So that's the way I'm going to do it. I'm not going to bet big into this race. It's just such a fun race to have a go at. And I'm going to go I really, really wanted to back Lady Shenandoah, but the J-Mac going to Jolie Star has made me go, maybe he thinks it's not going good enough.
It's amazing what the power that J-Mac has in Sydney.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. But
before, before the Valley, he was on Lady Shenandoah apparently.
Yeah, but I reckon that for me was just a massive forgive. I never thought the way she has presented in her races, I've never thought that she would go good at the Valley. Like everything would need to go perfect for her to be in that race, and it always throws up weird results, the Manikato, in terms of, you know, who gets the right run at the right time and who balances up perfect. So look, I'll probably, when it comes on the day, I'll see where the market's going, but I want to be with small on Angel Capital and small on Lady Shenandoah, because I just think Angel Capital, the way he was held up, and then like even just that last 50 metres when Frosty got him out and he exploded, it was like, it looked like something special that just never was. So maybe here, if, like you said, if the map suits, maybe he can just explode.
I like it at a price, War Machine and Lady Shenandoah. I don't do enough Sydney to get J-Mac in my head as much as the people that do Sydney have to have him in their heads. I just remember thinking on that night at Moonee Valley, like the SP could not win. It was in an unwinnable spot and went really well. I'd love to see it back to a bigger track. And War Machine is just the map horse, and it is actually scopy. Like it's progressing through the grades. It kicked their fucking heads in down the straight the other day.
Smacked them.
It was a big win in big time.
To the eye, watching that, I was sitting next to a bloke who'd had a stack on it, and I hadn't really bet in the race. And as soon as it went, it was just like, sit back and watch. It was impressive.
Yeah. Do you think
the other thing on
do you think David had put the boys over his knee if they get up and beat him on the line?
I reckon he might. Yeah, I reckon he actually might.
I reckon
it looks like he's got a fair bit of go about him.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking with Ka Ying is a little bit of footy sort of analogy. When you're on your home deck, you're more chance of winning. Ka Ying rising, well, you're 55. The stats are 55, 57% chance of winning. Ka Ying rising walks out of his box, goes straight to his track. He's not in his box. He's going to have more people around. He's away from home. He's on the away deck, and you're taking $1.70. So.
That's spot on, Paps, because when they had that jump out and he didn't go as good as everyone thought he would, and I understand you can make the argument that he went really, really well, maybe just not what we expected. But the main thing was everyone's looking to knock the horse fitness-wise or body-wise and saying it wasn't right. What about mentally? Like, it was sweating up, it was carrying on like it hadn't been, and the absolute gong show that's going to be going on there on Everest Day, if mentally he just doesn't switch on and gets fired up, that could be a massive chink in his armour.
Yeah, I think that's the big... If I was bookmaking, I'd be gapping it, because everyone would want to back it. It'd be a great result. There's also a chance with all of what you just said that he's half slow butch. And the race just like flips on its head for the first 50, 100 metres. It's like, oh, fuck, he's third pair, fourth pair.
Yeah. I don't know, there's 18 teams in the AFL. I think the Swans are the only ones with the home ground advantage, aren't they, Perhaps? They're the ones that get outside of Sydney and don't travel too good.
Oh, don't.
Here we go.
Yeah. Three boys in this chat, Butch.
Yeah, three.
Well, the Lions don't have any problem. They seem to travel good, you know.
Oh, in September, they struggled all year.
At
least they know. At least when the Lions say they're going to get so, and they do it, unlike your mob.
We beat them up there, Bush. Premiers beat them up in Brisbane.
Great form reference. Like, you'll look it up on your punting form next season and go to this win that day with that SP. That's something to work on. Yep, beautiful.
Yeah, I think my man Chrissy Fagan was just having a bit of a play that day.
Is that what Horney said?
I have to take what he started on Horney. What about? Did we tell Paps about his game over in Perth? It was rated through the roof. He's declaring the next. He's declaring the next big thing as a midfielder.
Yeah, I think Tom might have got into that.
Yeah, so I got into that. I set the podcast to Coxie.
I take it all back, Paps. I think you travelled really well that day against probably benchmark 52 lot, but I think you travelled well that day. And I'm just worried that you're not playing back pocket this year, are you?
No, why is that?
Oh, well, you said you're going to be alongside Charlie Curnow. I thought because I think McCartan plays forward, doesn't he? Or have you given up on that? Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, you just never know. You got to be versatile these days, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are you
Right.
done? You
Right,
getting
You
the
I'll
one
whack
done?
there?
off. Yeah, good. That's
Little
all right.
flare up. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. He's
yeah.
flared
Right.
up. We're going to finish off Sydney now. We're going to go to race number 4. It's the Angst Stakes. It's a mile for the mares. It's a Group 3. It's worth $250,000. The speed looks genuine enough here, Pappers.
Yes, pretty solid speed. Perfumist, Abelor, just feeling lucky. I wonder if Tommy Berry goes as hard as he did down at the Valley.
God bless him.
Uh,
Splashback. There's a bit of
uh,
form coming. Like there's a lot of form on Saturday through that where you're going, do I forgive the horses that were like ridden upside down or not?
yeah. And then we've got Let's Fly, we'll go forward as well. I landed on Perfumist. I was looking at the race. It's going to be a hot speed. Last start was very, very good. Regan actually rode this very, very well last start. I think the race before he absolutely butchered one and it cost me the race. But hopefully he sorts it out this race and he can sort of just, I love to lead this horse, so I think it will lead, which just feeling lucky would be interesting how fast Tommy goes, or he can just sit outside. But there's a few in this race: Perfumist, Idle Flyer, Churchill's Choice, Polymnia, Real Class that come out of the same race. Perfumist was like kicked their heads in last start. Worse than Midfield was not suited, but Perfumist gets a 2 kilo weight swing on Idle Flyer, who started 270 against it last start and draws widest here. Struggle to see how Idle Flyer makes up that ground on Perfumist. And all the others I didn't really rate. Dominettas, not too bad. Had a trial in between. Maps well on the fence, but I just thought Perfumist was going to be too good here and can handle hot speed, can handle slow speeds, even speeds, and Bourne's flying, so he's got this horse humming again, and I think will be too good in race 4.
Are you going to have a little save, which I recommend on Just Feeling Lucky?
Yeah, no, fuck it.
All right. Any other horses to like watch, follow back at Randwick from you, Far?
Nah.
Butch, anything from Randwick?
No. I think that's my limitations.
All right. Speaking of your limitations,
What if the rain comes tomorrow? How long do you reckon the Everest Day Winners Circle opens for in race 10? Do they have a limit on that, you reckon? Because if Getafix wins in race 10, I think they might be there till 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Has it
got any chance or not?
No, I don't know. I need the rain, that's for sure. It's barrier fucking 22.
Ooh, that's ugly.
That's a setback.
A few come out, though.
Yeah, it'll
Speaking
come
of-
into 21, won't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of setbacks, Butch, did you suffer any on your recent exploratory trip to India?
You wouldn't believe it. I was
how much weight
sitting
did
in
you
a
lose?
I was sitting in a bar in Delhi, and they had a list of 12 beers you could order. Anyway, I went through and they said, haven't got it. I said, how about you tell me what you have got? And they listed 2 beers. They said, we've got these 2. So I said, what's the lightest one? And he said, you can have that one at 6%. And I said, well, what's the other one? He said, 10. So the light beer over there is 6%. Anyway, I'm sort of paddling my way through a couple of these things, and next thing you know, I look up on the screen, and there's buddy Far belting the suitcase out of some bloke from last week. They got him on replay in the buddy yeah. First of all, they have that. What's that tiggy game they play over there? What's it like?
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi.
Yeah, kabaddi. And I was watching a bit of that, completely fucking bemused about how it was all working. But like some bloke touches someone, then they all pile on top of him. And then it got back to a 2-man race, which was Far belting the suitcase. Talk about kick. What were you kicking with your right leg?
Yeah. Seriously, did some serious damage with that right leg. I'm hoping to build the fan base in India. You get 0.1% of the population having a watch of you, and your numbers go through the roof.
Yeah.
Well, I was winning them over everywhere I went, but
Oh yeah, how are you doing that?
We went to this temple. I'm glad you asked, Jack. We went to this temple, and they got like the woman with all the arms, and Sarasvati or whatever the thing is, and they got the group there, and they're all sort of intensely watching and that, and I sort of turned around to old Joe next to me, and I said, You wouldn't mind her for your first girlfriend, would you? You know. And gee, I tell you, thought I'd bloody, kill a bloody human or something, Anyway, we sort of
Oh.
we got through that. We got through that part, but then we went out for dinner that night, and this Indian woman came past, and I said, "Can I get a soda water and another bowl of rice?" And she looked at me and she goes, "I'm in your tour group." I had a few setbacks there, but
Yeah, that's a setback.
nothing we couldn't smooth over. Like it took me
Fuck,
probably
man.
2 more days, but we got back on. I won in the finish. I won them back over again. Seriously, like talk about an experience and an eye opener. They cremate 200 bodies on the riverside every day. 200 bodies they cremate. Unbelievable. If you want experience, that's where you're going.
Fuck.
Anyway, we move on.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, guys, if you'd like your horse to be trained by that man, myself and Melissa Page and John O'Rayner and the Mailbag Boys, we have Vale Mountain and Elsie May, both Saturday horses, both can race at the Wednesday level, both trained out of Seymour, both thriving. Jono, Jono at the mailbag.com.au. You'll be able to... The stories aren't always that good, but they're just about that good. You'll be able to get one of them whenever you want to find out about your horse as well. Let's head to Caulfield, boys. It's a phenomenal day's racing at Caulfield. A lot of sprint racing. A lot of 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 metre work. We're going to focus on two of the more traditional races, the two Group 1s. We'll kick off, boys, with 1,000 Guineas, which sees the horse that we spoke about before, Apocalyptic favourite, $2. Some 2.05 around, but we'll say 2. Ole Dancers, $5.50, double figures the rest. The horses that they're sort of saying maybe about, I've got to get a feeling, Farivia and Karinska, and a little bit of mating call down the bottom. Does anyone want to rip into this before I tear it apart?
Yep.
Far.
Yes. First off, just want to say, if you are at Caulfield this weekend or watching along at home and you see those horses walk out into the original mounting yard and you think that some of them might have come through races at Sandown, just have a moment to yourself, have a drink to John Kanga and his crew that made sure that we went back to the original mounting yard so we have Caulfield in good shape, not that rubbish that they were putting on out the back. And just take a moment for the political hit job that was done on him. And he fell on his sword for us, for the punters and for the members. And he put himself out there and we get the benefit of it and he gets the shit that sticks to the wall. So take a moment for Kanga if you're on track, just to enjoy that it's back where it should be. But then in this race, just have an absolute bet on Apocalyptic. If you can get $2, like this horse will win by lengths.
Mark Zara goes on. That's
Love
pretty
it.
big
Like,
kick, isn't it?
Mate, you can't get better if you're going to talk about a jock swap. I just think this horse should be undefeated in its career so far. It's gone strength to strength. It's showed no sign that it's regressing or training backwards. And I think 1,600 metres at Caulfield, it's going to sit close enough to absolutely kick their heads in from about the 300.
First go, Caulfield, doesn't worry you?
Doesn't worry me at all.
You got the big thick ropes of Mark Zara, King Kong to sort of overcome that, I guess. We saw how good he was last week. I mean, the ride he gave Vinrock. Often the losing rides of the great jockeys get sort of forgotten about. He was on fire last week when he wasn't winning. He's in form, the cash is around, and the King's ready to take it all. It's a messy speed map though far. I thought Chateau Easy, the 11, who was single figures versus a bunch of these last start, it probably rolls forward with Steel Trap. Farivia gets another really nice run. It was completely blessed last start. Sandown, it's going to get a really good run here. Apocalyptic, Cherish Me, thereabouts. Zanny Girl goes from blessed last start back to her usual sort of cast, wide draw. Ethereum Girl gets Harry Coffey, wide draw. Race 7, they pivot, I guess, to how the track's racing. It's likely to go forward. The rest of them, I think, go back. Karinska, I reckon, tags Ole Dancer, who is the interesting horse for me. Goes from wide draw, not suited, to inside draw, Blake Shin. I reckon you're going to shit your little pants. about the 400 far, and it's going to be almost a match race because Blake will just tag Mark. They'll peel through. Mark will let it go. And if Ole Dancer lives up to its hype, its Victorian hype, maybe finally when it's got a nice smooth run, it's got a stack a pony when the whips are cracking. I love Ole Dancer at the price. I think Apocalyptic's the more likely winner, but $2 versus $5.50. I'm very, very keen to have a bet Ole Dancer. The horse that scares the shit out of me is Chateau Easy, and I like it because I think it rolls forward and I can sort of build a bit of a position on a horse that goes forward, but it's drawn wide and I think it goes forward. It's trained by M. Walker and it's ridden by D. Stackhouse. So when it doesn't go forward, I've only got myself to blame. Perhaps any thoughts this race, Apocalyptic, are you just all into the Sydney horse, the good Sydney horse?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I think wins. But I reckon there's a good little sicko same race multi out there if any punters are looking for that, which we all love. Apocalyptic will win, and you can get a feeling to run top 4 and throw in Ole Dancer top 4. You might get a good price there if you want to have a bit more juice into that winner, because I think it pisses in, but I don't think it's as good as Autumn Glow.
Butchie boy, what are you thinking? 3-year-old fillies out to a mile.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to add to it, but I can't. I think what Far said and what you said.
Fair.
Yeah,
I'll say, I'll just say one thing that I like. I'm going to have a saver. I'm going to go away from you a little bit and try and find some value if Apocalyptic does get beaten. But Salty Pearl, third up, has won third up previously at Caulfield. And the Winkers go on here first time. Is that right? Have I got that data right? But Winkers go on.
Yep.
Winkers go on, and
Blinkers first time.
Blinkers first time. So maybe sharpens up a little bit, focuses up, and if has ability and is improving, it can be somewhere top 3.
If the track's fair by now, so this is race 7. If the track is fair by now, I'm very, very tempted to fall into Karinska as well. And it started $26 last start versus Apocalyptic, but it carried Zach Lloyd and now gets Nash.
Nash will be aggressive here as well, I reckon.
If he needs to be, he's a versatile rider. He's not afraid to jam one into a spot. It scares me a bit, but it's by Spirit of Boom. I know Butcher's going to say it's not going to get a mile, and but it is trained by Uncle Chris. So yeah, the head starts to spin. I think I'm just going to stick with Ole Dancer and say Chateau Easy.
Did you get a good feeling, Dicko? Did you have that horse a bit further back than I thought?
Yeah, but also just a little bit of general sort of disgust for it. If you remember, we backed that horse to win a fucking maiden at Geelong, maybe, or Sale, and it couldn't get it done. And then it came and jammed us right in the Duel Star at Flemington. So sort of, really want to try and avoid it if I can. I don't think the race at 1 was any good. So, like
3-year-olds aren't any good.
By the way, I'm pricing it. I'm petrified of the Sydney horse, the good one. But I'm going to the Ole Dancer form line and getting that horse finally going to get a nice run. Blake Shin's sticking with it. Versus, there's a bunch of them like Zanny Girl, Maiden Call. They're all coming through this same Flemington race, where it was a real sort of sit and sprint, and that's sort of all this horse has ever done. So it's certainly a race where they're scopy and going through the grades. But Apocalyptic and Ole Dancer are just going to get really, really good runs, I reckon, from good barriers with the best riders. So, righto, boys. 2025 Caulfield Cup. It's only worth $5 million, and it's a full field of 18. It's a really good race, I reckon. It's a busy race, heaps of speed. Warband, Paps, I've got it going forward. You tell me if that's wrong. Banker's Choice has to roll forward. Deacon's going to get a suck run from 7. Revelair, God knows what they'll do, but one thing in its favour is Luke Curry's flying. Plymouth drawn wide, has to roll. Maidan, Middle Earth, Half Yours, River of Stars, Absurd, sort of in that cluster, getting good runs, economical runs, midfield. Presage, Nocturne, somewhere thereabouts. Adelaide River, no idea what they'll do. Birdman, no idea what they'll do. I think they go back. The Japanese horse, I think they go back. I don't know. Zardozi, really hurt by drawing 11 and not sort of 7 or 5. I think has to go back with Valiant King and Land Legend. This is a really good race. The favourite Far is half yours. It's got a massive SP edge versus a bunch of them here. And unfortunately for anyone that wants to go against it, it's drawn fucking soft as it gets in 2.
Yeah, drawn soft, well in at the weights. Set for this race, obviously. Hard to be against it, very hard, but I struggle in these handicap staying races to back favourites. I think the last time I would have backed a favourite in one of the big 2 Caulfield or Melbourne Cups would have been I backed Incentivise in the Caulfield Cup. Obviously comes off a different setup and a different level of horse here, you're assuming. But I'm not going to play big into this race. I'm going to try and buy a few at a Calcutta tonight. And the ones that I'm going to try and buy are Middle Earth, Zara, as you said, King Kong, Sticks. Ma very rarely gets it wrong on grand final day, and this is grand final day. I'm also going to try and get a piece of, what number do I want to get? Revelare. I'm going to forgive last start. If you take that run out of its prep and just go, maybe something went wrong, and you can pick it up cheap at a Calcutta, it's going to be worth having in there because its top 3 chances are really good. So they're the 2 that I'm going to have a go at. But again, not going to bet too big because I think half yours does win. I'm just going to play at the Calcutta for a little bit of fun and happy to sit back and enjoy a Caulfield Cup.
2.5 more horses for you to focus on tonight. Plymouth and Deacon. Butch, what are some pearls or some, truths that stand the test of time when it comes to Caulfield Cups and these famous handicaps in Australia?
Yes, well, I'm glad you asked me because Far just said grand finals, don't get it wrong on grand finals. It's a grand final this week, and then it'll be the grand final in the Cox Plate, then the grand final in the Melbourne Cup. So just be careful this time of the year because everything's a grand final until the next race. So
yeah,
people get a bit excited this time of the year. They're a little bit headless and whatever. Yeah, I think everyone's gravitated to half yours, which means its price is completely wrecked. So I'd be following Deacon. That's what I'd be following.
I thought the Deacon's run, Butch, was really, really good in the lead up.
Yeah. We love the good runs in the Turnbull on the weight drop, and especially if they get a map. You sounded like you were going to give him a map then. So that's right. And then from Barrier 1 in the Ethereal Stakes, Billy Egan at $9.50 after summer tick-over trial, promising these autumn sun fillies when they get to 2,000 metres, they start hitting their straps. After summer each way in the Ethereal Stakes. And I will bid you all farewell because I've got to go.
All right. That was Butch. Again, if you want to have a horse trained by him, good luck to you, if you can. I don't like the favourite. I don't like the price. But I'm respectful of its SP's last start and start prior versus key rivals here, and I'm petrified of its barrier and the map it's going to get. Having said that, I make it 350 without cuddling it at all, which again scares me. I'd much rather sort of come out at like 450 and then, sort of naturally not liked it. But there's still so much juice in this race that I think you can have a good go around it, and I'm going to. The horses that I'm going to fence sit on and probably certainly not lose on, just to the degree of how much I might try and win on them game days. I think they soften, particularly Vauban. I think with the big weight, it just won't get any shorter than it already is, but I don't want to be losing if it should win. I hate the price Middle Earth. I really like it and want to be with it, but they're just not letting you at $16. Absurd is a big price. Its SP profile is just in Australia, so it's a big price. This Maidan, I think, is a horse that will go off. It'll start this is the one that will crunch, but I can't get it as short as it is. I think it will be the cruncher though. It's got the big import Euro rating and a really soft speed map. Zardozi I want to be with, and I will. It'll drift. It'll start 50s, and I'll have something on. Deacon will be a good result and the second biggest result for me in the race. Revel Far, I'm the other way. My theory is that it failed last start because it finally saw a genuine tempo. But I agree with you, though, that the price is... I'm not being very courageous saying that at the price where they're offering us. 21s. I think with the wide draw, I don't think it starts any shorter, so I wouldn't rush if you want to play. I'm going to back River of Stars. It's got SPs around some of these imports, just come out here a lot sooner. And it's going to start 200, 300, 400 to 1. Birdman. Our man, the Papa's notes, sort of giving me a little bit of lead in the pencil. The price is pretty good. A thirsty T.O. Nugent from 12. It's going to run well. From what you're writing, Paps, and what the data says, and the trainer and the weight, Birdman's going to run well, and I'll be winning on it. But the biggest result for me in the race will be Plymouth, down the bottom, 51 kilos, Celine Gaudray. One of the worst rides all time on Plymouth last week. It's on the quick back up from being slaughtered, but the blessing was there was no tempo at all. She's brave, Celine Gaudray. This is a huge opportunity for her to win a massive race. I think the horse should be closer to $31. I'd make it even shorter if I had to. It'll roll forward. It'll have no weight on its back. It's going to get 2,400 metres. It could be mad on pace bias track at Caulfield. You know, it was on Wednesday. I think a lot of things are in this horse's favour, and I think the price is ridiculous.
Nice. Well, Plymouth. What did you put Plymouth down to last week? That last 200, just not running straight, or not getting the trip, or?
No, well, she crawled the whole way on a fit horse that's coming off an honest run in a Ballina Cup, but prior it was enormous at Flemington.
Yeah.
Then she's got circled, lost momentum, pulled it out, revved it around. It was green, but it was the acceleration and change up speed that it won't need to do or be able to do in this race. It'll be cruising at a much higher speed, and it'll just be about maintaining its action and hoping it flows through to the line. It's not about change up speed for say, I don't know, Banker's Choice, your Deacons, your Plymouth. These horses that we think will be forward are just going to roll and they'll click up like we saw in last year's Caulfield Cup, where Land Legend was forward from an inside draw and they built into the race, and his sort of move at the 800, it won the race for Duke de Sessa.
Yeah.
Because Duke de Sessa had to go with him, and then all of a sudden they'd stretched that elastic band so far from the good horses out the back. There's a world where the map is so soft for half yours that it just loses momentum at a key stage. There's a slow or two slow ones in front of her. They're taken her nowhere. She can't get off. All of a sudden they're off and they're gone. I just think at the price, if you start betting into the race, whatever you're backing, if you're backing half yours, have something on Plymouth.
Yeah, I've looked at it quickly. I really like Deacon as well. I really like it. Fourth up, was good really good last start. Really good. 18 bucks. I'll be 1 by 3 in that Dicko all day.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
How do you handle the 1 by 3s? Is that if you do a 1 by 3er, is that you for the race, or can you have multiple 1 by 3s?
I haven't done a multiple 1 by 3s. I'm not a big because I'm not a big sort of value punter like you. But if I was to, find a couple, I reckon I might on the weekend. Now you say that, but it's more of a gut feel how I'm feeling. Like that Pericles on the weekend, I don't think I'll 1 by 3 it just because my gut feel is just not there, and it's not really a race I'm actually keen in. So I might just have a little unit on it for fun, or half a unit for fun. But yeah, at $18, 1 by 3 all day.
And I will say that this is a race in a day, both states, where you want to play your exotics and get involved because the pools will be good for once. And when I'm not sort of pushing you into Middle Earth or Maidan, I certainly would encourage you to include them in all your exotics and your first fours and your trifectas. They're beautiful map horses, Mark Zara. It's just that I'd like to sort of see 16 Maidan and sort of 25, 31 Middle Earth, you know. I treat Middle Earth about the same as Plymouth, you know, but it's just the price.
Yeah.
On the World Pools, I reckon if you're going to play the Everest, they're going to come for Ka Ying. So if you want to play on the totes and you want value, I think that's the play. And if you're going to play in the Caulfield Cup, the World Totes will go here because you got Maidan. They always come for the Japanese or the imports.
Golden Snap's the Japanese horse.
Yeah, what's that one?
That's in the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, they'll come for Golden Snap. I reckon they'll come for Maidan, the import, as well. So, I reckon you might be able to get some real juice late on the totes.
All right. Here we roll now to the best bets slide. This is the best bets from everyone on the roster. A big weekend's racing. You can write them all down. You can take a little photo, just screenshot them if you need them. They'll be out on the socials if Praddy or Jono remembers. Have a phenomenal weekend. Gamble responsibly. 1-800-858-858 or visit the website. If you want your hand held in Sydney or in Melbourne on Saturday, themailbag.com.au. You can get Pistols Mail, which was outstanding yesterday at Caulfield. All the big Scuzz Dog. SEN set with Paps. When's that? Tonight? Tomorrow morning? You can cop it.
Tonight.
It's all happening.
Early
have
crow.
a phenomenal weekend. Early crow Monday. We might even get the fire on since he's focused on racing and ponies for the next little bit. Have a phenomenal weekend. Thanks for being on, boys. And
Cheers, bye.
Bye for now.
Thank you.